All right, there we go. Okay, all right, so it should be recording now. Um, so as I said earlier, this is related. I'm the healthcare VOGUE secretary. My name is Idris Tufekcioglu. I work as an OnBase Epic solution consultant. Again, today's topic is going to be RTE, real-time eligibility information, as it relates to referrals and authorizations within OnBase and Epic. So this will cover areas of how referrals are managed, and in situations where you have to go into a payer website and then check for authorization of a status of a referral, and then maybe print or export some documents from that website and bring them back into your Epic. So I'm going to go a little bit over what happens currently. We have built a solution for this in UC Irvine Health, and they're up and live running right now. And over there, it's basically you can use the solution regardless of which. The way I'm going to explain it, you can use it for any RTE vendor you work with. As probably you may be already aware that OnBase Highland also has a RTE product. I believe it's called Highland RTA. It's fairly new product, is what I think. But this presentation is not really covering any specific RTA product from Highland. It's just a generic solution, just using good old OnBase tools. That's nothing else, nothing magical here. We're not buying any module or anything like that here, unfortunately, but using just OnBase to get everything working. But Highland has actually more streamlined solution, which is the RTA, Highland RTA. You can also follow up on that as well. And this, again, as I said, this solution will work for any RTE vendor. It doesn't have to be Highland RTA. So the problem we were trying to solve in the referral center, they basically have this process. I'm going to go ahead and go to the slides. This is our old process in UC Irvine Health, and this is what we mapped out as a new one. So in old process, referrals are created either manually by going into referral entry in Epic, or transcribing an order like for a consult or something, that with some necessary Epic build can automatically generate a referral in the background, and you can catch that in an Epic referral. Or you could just be, we also are using in UC Irvine an OnBase automated referral creation. So you could have an OnBase workflow, and you push a button called create Epic referral, and you push that button, it sends it over across the document, and also creates a Epic referral, and then that's also caught in the work queue. So those are kind of basically the current state. So OnBase automatically creating referrals, transcribe orders, creating referrals, and a manual referral enter creating orders. So this is nothing different here. But what was happening is staff was going into, when they go into these referral work queues, they have to go into the payer websites and check for authorization. This person authorized to come see us. And they would, let's say, go to Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever. They would go to that payer website. They would have a username and password. They would enter the subscriber ID, hit search, and find out what their coverages are and things like that. And then once they figure out what that is, they would come back, this old state, they would come back and update the referral status in Epic. So they would go in, and from pending or new, they would change the referral status in the referral entry to authorized, and then enter maybe authorization number in. And not only that, they would have to go into the website and do a virtual print or something like that, or print it. So I'm just going to maybe demonstrate that a little bit if I can here. But they would just go into this website and then go into, I don't even know, I'll just say for here for maybe do go to Blue Cross or something like that, and then they would have a place where they would log in and enter the information, and then it would just do file print to PDF, and either save it into a shared drive, or they would print these records and someone else would later on would upload those into Epic. So what I'm talking about is, I'm just going to show you, I'm jumping a little bit about this, like basically the slides are not really in the order or anything like that. So they would come, they would go in and they would basically get a response like this one. So I'm just going to put it in slide mode real quick. Oops, I think it changed where it's showing. That's great. But I'm just going to maybe make it not full screen. So what it would do is basically should come back with an authorization page from Blue Shield. Hey, this member is authorized, blah, blah. This is how many days of level of care, and this is how much they're authorized. So based on that, the Epic visit would be scheduled. And as you see here, this is a manual process. Once the referral is created, either automatically or by transcribing the order or entering manual entry, staff has to go in, watch these work queues, go find out, log into Blue Cross site, let's say, find it from there, update the referral status, copy the referral authorization number, put it into the referral, and then go back and use FOS or something like that in the Epic referral entry module to scan the document. Like they would go into this is your referral entry screen in Epic, and then they would just change the status to authorized, and then they would also scan the document from the notes tab. Usually what people do, they go to notes and then click general note and then just scan the document, and I think it would open up FOS. So to automate this stuff, this is the new process. What we've done is this process, the referrals are still being created the way they are, and we are actually moving as much as we can is to auto create it by OnBase as much as we can. And we're looking at opportunities in UCI, basically anywhere where people are transcribing orders, going into the Epic transcribe orders to, and then they would just have a referral created in the background for that. So if you've done like transition of care implementation for your Epic instance, you were probably familiar with that. So we're moving those guys out of there as much as we can, so they don't have to do manual transcribing in Epic one by one. All they have to do is just import the documents that are coming in for those, like usually external faxes that physician offices sends for authorizations for their patients to be seen in the health system. So we get those, and then we push them to OnBase workflow. And then I think in Community Live 2020, I talked about how we automate referral creation process using OnBase and Epic. So you can ask me about that. I also have a recorded video on how to automate OnBase, how to automate referral creation in Epic using OnBase. So I'd be happy to share that video as well with you. Anyway, so that's not the topic of this webinar. So in this webinar, basically, we want to talk about how do we go about automating the part that people have to go into the sites and get find the patient and get the authorization information, whether this person is authorized for services or not, and also get the document. So this portion, as you see, don't have no gears because there's no manual person doing anything. So this all basically is all automated. So after the referral is created, these three boxes here, Epic, RTE, and OnBase, these boxes are completely, they're automated. No human touching them at all. So how do we do this? In order to do that, basically, we have built, and for those of you who are familiar, if not, I'll be happy to speak to it. Just email me and we'll talk about it. Epic sends what we call the EDI 278 message to the RTE vendor. This could be any RTE vendor you might be working with. Basically, we send that saying, they obviously get ADT and all that, right? So you set up some ADT, and then you'd set up a 278 message with them. And when you set that up, you're basically sending them an Epic referral ID with the patient identifiers and asking them for a status. So asking them for that message looks something like this. So I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but Epic sending RTE 278 out. So that message looks like just a typical EDI format, like similar to your 835, 837, but maybe slightly different. So this is where the magic happening is. Basically, you're passing in the referral ID and a couple of other patient identifiers here in this message. So, and then your RTE vendor takes that information, and then they do basically what we call it, that we're going to call the robot, you want to call it AI, artificial intelligence, whatever you want to call it. They take your referral information, and this is where your RTE vendor would be doing all the work. This is not like in UCR one, this is not something we did. This is actually we paid RTE vendor to do this. Once they take your referral information, their robot or AI engine basically goes out based on the payer that we sent, because the payer record is sent here too. So the sheet that says Be Your Blue Shield or whatever, so payer plan numbers and things like that, those are all passed in this 278. And those are actually harvested by the RTE vendor's AI engine, and they are looking at the payer, the patient, verifying the patient. Once they verify the patient, their system actually does, this is what actually I think what Highland RTA does too, goes out to that website based on the payer that's selected in the message that they receive. They go to that Blue Cross site, enter the subscribing ID. It's all the robot doing this, nothing else, human is not doing it, and get the authorization. They record a few things. One is obviously the authorization status is important. It's a discrete field. It's not a document. It's a discrete field. And also get the document and virtual print the document in their AI server. So once they do that, we need the we need the authorization status in Epic, because we don't want our staff going in and manually updating the referral status. So what we have is an EDI 278 response. So this is a EDI 278 query. So sending it out to the RTE vendor. And then there's a very similar message, very similar message that is coming back from the RTE vendor, similar to this, that has some fields here. I think it's one of these guys here that shows, I think DTP is the segment that sends the authorization. I think DTP stands for AH, stands for, I think, authorized. So they're sending that authorization status. So in Epic, you create two interfaces, one Epic to RTE out, and then 278 out, and then RTE to Epic 278 in. So there's one is query going out, and then it's called the response interface. So if you're not familiar with some of these interfaces, you can ask your Epic Bridges person or your interfaces TS, and they should be able to help you get those set up. But it might look a lot, but once these are set up, these are significant time savers. And in the matter of a couple of years, you'll be saving thousands and thousands and thousands of man hours doing all of this. Yes, you may have spent 100, 150 hours setting up all the interfaces and things like that on a project like this, but it's definitely going to pay it's going to be very beneficial for all over the years. So what's happening here? Epic sends it, and then RTE updates the Epic referral status and notes. Basically, this is your response. Again, no human touching it. It went out, it came back, RTE updated the referral status. So basically, they will literally update this. They will literally update this field here where it says referral status. So this referral status field will be updated as authorized. And we've also built some reasons here for authorization reason, RTA authorized, so that our staff knows that it wasn't authorized by a person, it was authorized by the vendor's engine. And then next one, we're going to go look at it here, what happens in the workflow and what happened to the document, right? And also, one of the other things that our AI engine does is they do virtual print the response from the vendor's website, and then bring that response. So that's, I'm going to talk a little bit about more on like what a lot of the OnBase work that happened in this box. So what we've done for this one is the part that actually bring in the document and how do you attach it to the Epic referral record, because the vendor, RTE vendor, does not have a document interface. Like they only, these type of vendors, they only work with uh, RTE claim or pair interfaces. They don't work with document interfaces. They don't have capability. And this is where actually Highland RPA come in. Highland RPA can help you guys to, if you wanted to do project like this, and would help you automate that. And you can use any vendor, and Highland RPA being one. So in order to do this, basically the kind of the setup that I've done is with some of the people with the RTA and our Epic teams. Uh, Basically, the RTA vendor, Epic sends the 278 query, and then RTA vendor sends the 278 response back, updating the authorization status. And then once they are done with their engine work and figure out the patient and authorization status, they create a referral attachment PDF and put it onto their shared FTP site. And we created an account, usually because of the data security violation problems and things like that. We didn't want to put the data folder in a, we didn't want them to put the files into our network. We asked them to create them as the SFTP, and then they gave us a username and password for that, secure username and password. And we built basically a drip process, document directory import process that will pull down the documents from their SFTP and import it into OnBase. So I used a drip on this one. And this is one of the things I did in order to do that. So I don't have to do crazy amount of analysis about how to find which document belongs to which referral and which patient. I basically tailored this file naming convention to them. I said to them, look, give me a file that looks like with this name right here. So this gives me everything I need. I don't have to do crazy autofill information because I have the MRN. I can run it workflow and then find out all the rest of the MRN fields. Epic referral ID. This is key because one of the things that I think in OnBase we still don't have yet, but maybe in the future Highland will do it. Epic authorization like referral interface. We don't have it. Like we have ADT, right? We have document interface, MDM. Or ORM order interfaces into OnBase or out of OnBase, but we don't have a referral interface, meaning Epic does have no way of communicating back to OnBase saying these are the referral records in Epic. OnBase, I want you to let you know. There's no such thing. So in Epic, knowing the patient, there was no way in hell I was going to be able to figure out which referral this document would have had to go to. So since they're getting the 278, the referral ID from Epic to RTE vendor is going on the 278 message. So I told them, make sure you take a note of it. And because when you're getting back to me, sending me the file back, I want you to name the file with the Epic referral ID in it, so I can use the drip process later to parse that information. So, and then they send the patient first name, last name, just for the kicks. I'm not using that. But also, auth status, this is important because I use this later as a document description. So I'll show you guys where it is. They send me the authorization status saying like, there are some different ones, authorized or inpatient authorized, outpatient rejected, approved, denied, that kind of thing. So they send those statuses and a date time. And this one I did want it because from the document import date to the creation of the date that they did, I wanted to be able to compare, like if we have any lags or delays on pulling things down from SFTP, I wanted to be able to look at the file name and find out when they generated the file versus when I imported it or when it arrived to me, so I can compare any latencies in the problem. So that's kind of the setup. And you basically get it all from Epic, send it to RT, they run their ID, they send the SFTP, we just drip it into OnBase. But then the magic is, how do you make it available in the referral entry screen? Yes, anybody can get it, show up in the media tab, right? We have that interface. Everybody who works on Epic get it too. But how do you show up in the referral section? So in the referral section, basically, the way to do that is something, again, that goes back to my community live presentation that I did last year. You modify your MDM, you modify the interface, basically add a segment to your MDM interface from OnBase to Epic to include this ZRE segment. So when you add the ZRE segment, there is one profile variable on the Epic side you have to enable to say, enable ZRE, yes. So you have to do that on the OnBase so in the Epic side, in the bridges interface, there's a profile variable you have to say to enable the ZRE interface. But once you do that, basically, this is just a good old MDM message. There's nothing special about it. I'm sure you guys, Epic ones, if you're using Epic, you do this all the time. And this is basically your patient identifier, your MRN, and your document type, and the dates, and then your OnBase doc handle here, and then the notes. This note is your document description if you're using document description in an Epic Media, but this one number does all the magic because this is Epic referral ID that OnBase is sending to Epic. That's pretty powerful. Seems like very simple, but pretty powerful, because what then that does is this ain't gonna be filed to some random media tab. It's gonna go to this patient's referral record number 2411 and be attached to that referral. So that is basically what it's going to do. And then where we get that, we didn't actually have to create it ourselves, because we got that from the RTE vendor, because this is one sample file of what the naming convention looked like. So when we're getting it from the RTE vendor, we tell them the 2411, all I do is store it in a keyword called Epic Referral ID. I created a doc type that's called incoming RTE AI or something like that. And just created that keyword there, added that keyword, stored it. But when I'm sending the Epic, I do re-index the document to referral attachment. And that's key, because Epic's referral module only integrates with one document type called referral attachments. You can add more, but if you want to do alter some more Epic build, but it's not needed. It knows what to do with the referral attachment document. So when I import the documents, I run them through the workflow. Right before I send the MDM, I re-index the document to the referral attachment. But don't forget to add the same keyword to the referral attachment document, as well as the document type that you initially imported into, because this is, I learned the hard way. If you don't have the same keyword on two different doc types that we are re-indexing from one to the other, you will lose that keyword if you're not careful. And you would be wondering, why is my document filing, but it's not filing to the correct referral ID? And that's why, because you have to make sure that you add the keyword of Epic Referral ID to your referral attachment doc type, as well as the one that you were importing in your drip process in there. So, and enable the ZRE. So that basically comes in, and what happens from here is, again, after the referral was created, nobody touched anything, like no manual work. Nobody went to a work queue, none of that. None of that, nobody worked, nobody printed anything, nobody scanned anything, nobody checked the website authorization study, none of that. It all happened automatically within minutes. And at the end result becomes user goes to their referral work queues where RTA referral has already been taken place, and they go and then they double click on the referral record. Once they double click on the referral record, they do open up their referral entry, and they see the authorized, and the reason is RTA authorized. Oh, my RTA engine, AI engine worked, and then set the authorization status. Awesome, great. Oh, what about my authorization document that AI would have virtually printed and attached it to my authorization? And we opened up the scans tab here in the referral entry. There's a little bit of, I think, one small Epic build here. It'll take 5 minutes. And once you do that, the documents that are attached to that referral will show up here. So what I did is the authorization status approved, from the file name, I get the authorization status. I take that and store in a keyword and then slap it into the document description message that I sent over to Epic, and it shows up as an authorization status approved. So this is easy way for them to see the denial. So like if there's multiple responses, because sometimes they go back and forth, authorizations go back and forth between the payer and the provider. So you could see which document pertains to a denial and which one is for an approval. So it can easily see that. Obviously, the doc type is this. All you have to do is double click on the document and your document will pop on your integrated OnBase viewer. So from here, you can, if it's an authorization, it's fine. If the approval is fine. If it's a denial, you can go back and forth, change the status, do your normal referral authorization work that you normally do. But the long story short, by doing this is basically you're automating the entire process of anybody touching anything. And one of the solutions, one of the reasons why I like this solution is because we're not doing just the document piece. Like there are things you could do, like maybe you can purchase an AI engine or something that would just, based on a referral ID or subscriber ID, that would just do a query onto a website and then virtually print a document and bring you the document back. Well, that's not enough, because that's not enough. I don't just need the document. I need that AI engine to update my referral status too, because that's where my Epic workers are driven off of. They're driven off of the authorization status and authorization reason. So if it doesn't update it, I'm going to have to look at and manually review each referral manually. Well, if the document there, I'm still going to manually have to remove it. So having the document without the 278 interface, it's kind of like spit on the face. Like it doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah, it's kind of awesome, great, but it doesn't truly help the workflow. So in order to get the really biggest bang in your buck, you want to integrate your document and blend it in with the 278 interface where the referrals can be automatically updated. So again, so I just wanted to show, like, once you open the document, what normally looks like. This is a screenshot, basically. I know it's not very clear, but this section here says that the document is, this is the PDF, actually. This is like where when you open this up, this is that PDF. I wanted to show one here. It says basically that it is authorized, and it came through, and this is what it looks like. That was the first page, saying just basically simply that it's authorized. And this one says that the specific reasons of how many days they are authorized for and things like that. So that they can schedule the length of stay and all of that. So how we designed it, just kind of going back again, I want to leave about at least 15 minutes for questions, because what I am guessing is a lot of you guys never heard of something like this, and I'm hoping there's going to be really interesting questions coming in, or you guys are thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about or something. Anyways, how we built it: set up the SFTP process for document exchange with the RTE. RTE vendor puts the document into their SFTP, created an automated robot job, or you can directly use OnBase has an SFTP option in the dip or drip process, and the job puts the documents into the drip folder. That's what we did. I didn't want to do the OnBase SFTP configuration. We have a team that does a lot of robot jobs and kind of move files around. They did that, so I let them handle it. It's more reliable for us in our environment. Obviously created the import process, and we parsed the document identifiers like the MRN, referral ID, and denial statuses and things like that. Set up the OnBase workflow. In the OnBase workflow, I'm checking for a document type of incoming RTE. If it's incoming RTE, it doesn't try to go to Epic right away or anything. It goes through a different life cycle, and then that life cycle looks for the existence of the referral ID rec keyword. And if it's there, and it validates it, that means it's ready to go to Epic, and it sends send the MDM with the ZRE segment that looks like this. From there, filing the document to Epic referral goes to the Epic destination with the MDM message. Nothing magical there, just like any other Epic document. Obviously, the Epic interface logic matches the referral ID in Epic. attach the document to the referral doc type with the document description, like we saw here, doc type of referral attachment with the document description. And documents are also available in referral entry without anyone scanning and uploading it. And this part is crazy because what I looked into, I ran some OnBase reports, and people who are here, they're going to notes and attaching documents using FOS manually. Some days I would see almost like 800 to 1,000 documents being uploaded, like one by one. There's about 40 staff or something, and there's obviously different departments doing it too. But when I do a document count, I would easily find about 1,000 documents per day. People are going in, click the scan button, click launch FOS, file, import, find the PDF file, select it, click, upload, wait for it to come back, wait to Epic. So this process, they do this 1,000 times, different people doing it all throughout the day. So at least for the referral side, they don't have to do it for these authorizations anymore. The AI engine takes care of the statusing, the 278 query and 278 response. And then OnBase handled the MDM piece with the customized ZRE segment, attach the document to the PDF, and then there you are. And now it's 10:37 for my side. I'm going to open up for questions or anybody having any one of discussions. Thank you. Anybody want to ask questions in the chat window or by unmuting themselves? It's either way is fine. Please do let me know. Let me see if maybe there's some things in the chat that I'm not seeing. All right, let's see. All right, we have some things in the chat. All right, so does RTE vendor push the referral attachment to you via SFTP? Or are you pulling it from them? We are pulling it from them and they are not pushing it. And the reason they're not pushing it is because in UCI, we've decided that we don't want to give the vendors an account in our environment, so where they can log in potentially with that account. We tell them, put it into your SFTP, you give us an account, and we'll pull it down from you. Kevin, does that answer your question? All right. And then Bill is asking from John Muir, we import ours, the CSN, and the document lands on the reg table. There you go. Yes, okay, a lot of people do that. But I do like your referral attachment with the ZRE idea. I might have to create an enhancement. Yes, so please, Bill, let me know if there's anything I can maybe give you a cheat sheet or anything like that. But in essence, this is what you need. This is what you have to have OnBase to send. The interesting idea is, Bill, you're already sending all this stuff. You just have to create a new, like maybe copy your existing MDM to Epic interface, and then import template, HL7 import template, and then give it a new name called OnBase to Epic MDM with referrals or something. That's what I did. And then in that referral template, add the ZRE segment and store the keyword for the Epic referral ID in their document type and send it over with the ZRE segment with the referral ID. I think ZRE3 being the referral ID, and that should do it. And don't forget in Epic that you will have to interface in the MDM interface, you have to enable the ZRE. And then also for the documents to be visible in Epic, you have to enable this scans tab on your referral screen if you don't have it. All right. Any other questions I can answer for you guys? Or let me ask maybe this. Anybody has seen this solution before? Has anybody seen it before?
What
okay.
what go for?
Has anybody seen this being implemented, or have you guys implemented this type of OnBase, basically attaching documents directly to referral screens, and also automating the AI piece of getting the responses from your RTE vendor, and then updating Epic with the referral authorization fields? Yes, we are. Bill says we are using Waystar Recondo for RTE AI vendor. Yes, Recondo is one of the vendors. Recondo is one of the vendors. I think with the Epic customers, Recondo is one of the popular ones. And we didn't use Recondo for this solution. But yes, they really definitely have a presence in the marketplace for that. So, and do you have an RTE for this? Do you have the RTE for this? Someone's asking, but I don't understand what the question is. We just went live yesterday. Okay, Bill says, okay, that's good. So if you guys went live with the AI component, especially for those of you that are with the AI component, if you went live with the AI component, this will complement greatly. Because here's the thing: if you do the AI component and not do the document, it's just they're trying to stand on. You're basically, your 3 bar stool legs are not complete. You're only standing on 2. You need a third leg. You need a third leg to kind of get everything stabilized, because this way you allow people not to get out of the screen. You're still staying here. You're not going anywhere else. You don't have to go to OnBase to look for that document. You don't have to do a doc pop. You don't have to go nowhere. You just stay in Epic, click on the document, let it handle it for you. So if you've done, especially the RTE AI piece for your authorization entries, I would definitely recommend doing the scans piece as well. That would just basically bring a lot of efficiencies for this one. So Highland also has a product like this, and I'm just going to. I've been asking. Actually, it's actually pretty new. I didn't know it either, to be honest with you, up until recently. But came to my attention that I do have a presentation that was provided to me from Highland. I'm just going to share it on my screen, and anybody who wants to see this as well, feel free to let me know. I can forward you guys a copy. This is if you want to go with a Highland solution, introducing Highland RPA. They talk about, and this is basically, you have to contact with Tom Gruza. He's the senior product evangelist for that. Really had a good opportunity to learn a lot of things from him too. So it's a great resource. It's a great resource. And Highland talks about how their robotic automation works and what are they doing. Like they do some kind of like screen scraping, virtual printing. I think there's so many other things which I'm not really expert in a lot of the specific Highland content, but I would just say definitely reach out to him. So I think they do some type of a workflow here, and then it automatically pulls the documents to them. But I'll be happy to share this presentation to you guys too. So they do basically some AI with capturing the documents. But one of the things we did is not just the document piece, because 278 piece is extremely important. You want to tie that in with your documents. And just doing the document will not give your users, they will still have to go somewhere else to see the document, or they will still have to attach the documents here manually, which defeats the whole purpose. So you want to get that ZRE interface built in, MDM interface at the ZRE segments, and then and take advantage of that. For the specific one, I know there were, I think, questions. I think, do you have a RTE for this? I think they meant to ask the name of the company that we used. So there are different vendors that use it. Yes, Recondo one. This specific one, we use the company called Olive, and Highland also offers similar services as well. And Recondo, I don't know what Waystar is. Is it kind of related to them or not? But yes, I've definitely heard Experian and Recondo as well. So whichever way you go, from an RTE perspective, from a document harvesting perspective, the key is to the key is to tie in your document piece with your 278. Okay, so Bill says Recondo bought Waystar. Okay, and a lot of this stuff is basically there's nothing new kind of in terms of a license, or people always ask me, hey, you guys are showing all this stuff, and do I have to go buy this license and spend another $20,000 and activating it something else? No, there's nothing here. So there's no license that was purchased. It's basically your document drip process, document directory import processor. You just configure your fields, set up an import directory, and then there's no cost for that from Highland's perspective. From the Epic side, enabling the ZRE and the profile record, you don't even have to go to Epic. If you don't know how to do it, your TS, you can ask the TS, but it's no cost. Your Bridges interface person can ask the TS to enable that profile variable, but I'm sure they know how to do that. There's basically, to get the scan tab here, to get this visible, is one referral system definition build that you have to enable for that service area. So once you enable that, and that scan section will show up on your referral system definitions as well. So that will just make it. And the rest of it is just keyword mappings and things like that. Any other questions I can answer for anyone? Anybody who's interested in maybe potentially, oh, wow, we've been looking for something like this. I wish we knew this for. Anybody would be like, wow, okay, maybe we should just go back home and kind of start thinking about we should do this. Anybody who's been thinking about it? Okay. All right. So, and I'm seeing some familiar names, and some of you guys I haven't, obviously they're not familiar names for me, but people ask me about like the audience of who should be on this. Yes, OnBase admins, but if you have anybody who has with the RTE experience, or like people who work in the Cadence Grand Central teams and the Epic teams, this will be a really good kind of an audience for this presentation as well. And then I don't know your name, but 721-550 says yes, interested. So I'm just going to put in the chat window as well my email. If you guys can feel free to email to me, and I will see if there's any ways that I can help out. So this is my email, but I also have a UCI email. I'll type that in too. So you guys can use either email. And a lot of the things we're doing these webinars, because over the years, I'm currently acting as the board secretary for Healthcare VOGUE. And what we see is a lot of specifically with the Epic customers, the challenges are very similar. We have different ways of solving them, but they're very similar. And hoping that these type of presentations help people to kind of rethink when they go back to their desks or their home office now. So what can be done, and how the processes can be automated. And the past few years, especially in my journey in UC Irvine, we're really looking for things like, okay, we have this product, we bought OnBase, it costs a lot of money every year, right? So how can we utilize it to the best of our abilities to provide more automation, and seeing opportunities where things are slow or there's large volume, and then find ways to automate them. We have done a similar implementation of this for this piece of the workflow, where I'm just going right now. So the automatic creation of the OnBase referrals, this is an existing part of it. So we've done this implementation last year, and that really helped out greatly, because before everybody was transcribing orders one by one. Now they have to go to a document list in a workflow and then push a button and key in the MRN or look up the MRN and click index, boom, it's done. Referrals created, They don't have to go in and do any of that. And obviously, there is some more transcribing to do when they go into, when the document shows up in Epic work queue as well, referral work queue. But you know, at least everything is created for them, and they don't have to worry about creating the record and attaching the documents. So these type of automations bring great efficiency and eliminate manual entry. And especially right now, a lot of people working from home. To be honest with you guys, a lot of these users are actually in the referral center. They are actually working from home, because actually I do get calls from them too if they have a system issue or something like that. So this is, if you keep everyone in Epic as much as you can, not having to go jump into other applications, RTE website, or OnBase or any other system, you bring a lot more efficiency now, especially in a home working environment where things are a little bit more unstable. Maybe people have issues with VPN and this and that. So by doing this, I know maybe it's not really right onto the specific topic what we're talking about here, but every little thing has a snowball effect. For example, our users can be in Epic right now without VPN. Like they do VPN, but like they don't have to like open the Cisco VPN client. It's a VPN based on the Citrix. You can go into a Citrix URL and then get in, right? So that way, and they don't really have a lot of dependency to a shared drive on their own campus. So if you're working at home, you're working with a laptop issued to you or your hospital system, there's something in the S drive. So if I were doing the old process, I would have to manually scan the documents into Epic, right, using the FOS. Well, to get to the file is on the share server. It's not on my computer. So I have to connect to my S drive or P drive or whatever. Well, then you have to have the Cisco VPN, the full-on VPN, so that from your own desktop or laptop at home, you need to be able to connect to those SP drives, whatever. But with this now, because they're not scanning anything, they could launch OnBase. When you could also have different ways, like people on campus could be doing this work, and then people who work in Epic referrals, which are actually more highly paid for the individuals, can process those records in Epic without having to be VPN, and then users will have less issues. Oh, I got disconnected. I got timed out. Oh, I was working on this and that, and the connection dropped. My internet's slow. So they don't have to worry about a lot of that as long as they have stable enough connection to run Epic. So that really helps. They don't have to drive or go beyond the local drives. And that's been a huge, after COVID hit, that was been a huge undertaking, especially like from our side. A lot of our managers who were using OnBase, they were asking, oh, we should give people VPN and, get them, give them a call. I said, well, let's just get them on Citrix as much as they can. If they run Epic, let's just not try to make sure that they don't need too many other things, because that's where things start, blowing out. And here, it says, okay, she introduced herself, Wanda, ProMedica Healthcare. Thank you very much, Wanda, for that introduction. And then also says, we are working with Waystar, so OnBase to send referral ID to Epic. We were going to put into OBR segment. Does it matter which segment? Yes, it does. And yes, it does. Extremely matters. If you put it on the OBR segment, it'll just be another field. It will not attach to your referral record. So you could, if you send the referral ID in an OBR segment, yeah, maybe you can just file to media, or you can, when you file to media, maybe you can call the Epic ID as your Epic referral ID as your document description, but it will not truly attach the document to your referral. So what I mean by that, when you come in here, you're not going to see any documents. You would have to, you can jump to media from here. You can click on the media and go find the document in the media tab. But again, 2-3 extra clicks, your users are wasting time. So it would take you 2 hours of interface work, and you would save thousands of hours for your users. They don't have to worry about clicking on here and going to Epic Media to see the document, because the idea is to bring them here and they don't leave here. They finish their work much faster. So instead of OBR segment, you can keep it there if you want, but I would definitely suggest to enable the ZRE segment and put it in there, and then enable the ZRE segment in your profile variable, like I mentioned here, in your MDM interface. There's a one profile variable says, and I enable ZRE Z segment, and you will have to click yes on that profile variable, and your bridges person will know how to do that. So that's the part, and I know there's probably in the past, a lot of you have just kind of find ways, some hack ways to do this in various ways. And I've, to be honest with you, in the past, I've tried different things as well. But now with the ZRE segment being available and a little bit of magic with your import and HL7 document templates, you can make this happen. Just a little bit of a little further analysis goes a long way. And this is very helpful, actually. I want to say again, emphasize the description. If you don't have it in your system, definitely suggest that you enable it, because this gives, I know this is like says approved here, but if we go to a production environment, there's going to be like denial, first denial, second denial, authorization expired, or just so many different, like they have this entire table from the AI vendor, like what each status means, which of these statuses go with which referral status. So different referral statuses have different document statuses. That's what the operational users wanted. And then that way, this kind of like this here, along with the referral one, that's their key to figure out. In 2 seconds, they can figure out what the heck is going on with the referral by looking at here and looking at these two fields. Will vendors send the status code? I do not understand. Status codes, yes. Yes, the vendor sends the status code for the referral status codes, but it does not come into OnBase. It goes to Epic from Epic, from the vendor to directly to Epic, bypassing OnBase. So let me go back to that diagram again. So Epic, somebody creates the referral in Epic, manual entry, or OnBase creates it, or whatever it's been, however it's been created. The referral is created. Once the referral is created, you create this 278 query interface that has certain trigger points, and you don't have to send every single referral that comes out of the Epic to the RTE vendor. Like you could go by pair. So let's say first month you just go live with Blue Cross, and then next month maybe you go live with Medicare. You can do that based on a certain payer type or payer name or whatever. You can enable 278 query messages from Epic to go to the RTE vendor, and their AI engine works the referral, and then keeping track of what the Epic referral ID is. And then this 278 response it's actually, I think it's Wanda asking the question. The 278 response, this here going back to Epic, that's the one that includes the referral status and referral authorization reason. So this 278 response message updates these two fields. I'm not really familiar with 278. I wouldn't be the right person to explain all of that. And the vendor did a whole lot of work on that one. I can take no credit at all. They did all of this stuff. But my understanding is they do update certain fields in Epic. And I think whatever this interface allows, you're able to update in Epic. But this basically, I think it's DTP, this guy, I think, AAH, I think, stands for authorized. So when they send an AAH in the 278, it'll just flip this referral status to authorized. So that's what it will do. So that's coming here. And OnBase is not doing that. OnBase is attaching the document only and the description. Document, we're setting the doc type, they're setting the document description, and making the document available in the referral module instead of just free floating in media. So that's pretty much what I have for today. We're right at the 11 o'clock. So if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. I can the presentation that I did will be posted in the healthcare Vogue in the next couple of days. But if you want a copy, you don't know where it is or you don't know how to get to it, I can email you a copy as well. And also, if you want to learn more about the Highland RPA, I can also send you guys a copy of the Tom's presentation or for Highland RPA and their contact information. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thank you very much.